Hey everybody, Josh here for another Whiskey Wednesday at the Argonaut Wine and Liquor. Joined as always by Clay and Trevor from the liquor department, as well as Austin from Bruichladdich, who's going to tell us a little bit about what we're tasting today.
So I am, as you said, from Bruichladdich Distillery. It's a Islay-based distillery, little island off the southwest coast of Scotland. They're known for making three distinct different types of single malt. We have our unpeated single malt, we have our heavily peated single malt Port Charlotte, and then we have our most heavily peated single malt whiskey in the world with Octomore. So we're going to be going through the four of these today and learn a little bit more about each one.
Awesome. We're going to start with the Classic Laddie.
So this is our flagship brand. This is everything that we do as a standard. So we use 100% Scottish barley at the distillery. We do non-chill filtering, no coloring added, and as I said, this is an unpeated whiskey, so this is going to be very light in color, but very floral, fruity, and quite a delicious whiskey.
Yeah, definitely get some of those floral notes. I get some like fruits, like some apple. Yeah, get a little bit of that malt on the end of the nose.
It's really nice and refined, really balanced.
Great on the palate, butter smooth. I mean,
yeah. It's got that like honey sweetness that's really nice on a lot of scotch.
Just a great everyday approachable scotch. It's got that flavor profile that anybody can enjoy. It's not going to offend anyone with the peat that doesn't like the peated or anything like that. Just a great everyday drinker in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely a lot of layers in that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And don't let the 100 proof fool you. This is a very smooth whiskey. So everything that we do at Bruichladdich, we also do a 100% Islay Barley version of the same whiskey. So we've partnered with farmers on Islay to start growing barley for the first time since the 1960s in 2003. And we make the exact same recipe, just changing where we source our barley from. Significant difference comes from your terroir.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's crazy how different the noses are on these two. I mean, all the floral kind of fruit goes to like grassy,
it's more
like,
earthy
notes.
You get a little bit of peat, but it's not smoky peat because they don't smoke it. But there's so much peat in the water out there that you'll get it. Yeah.
And being an island that is growing barley, you're still going to get some of those maritime notes. You still get kind of that brininess that goes on. And that's just simply from the ocean winds.
A little bit of that salt. I also get like a good spiciness that I didn't get on the Classic. It's more like the beefed up older brother almost of the Classic.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that.
Very good.
Really,
You could break this one down for a little while and keep tasting the differences. It stays with you for sure.
Now we're on to our most recent award winner. This is our Port Charlotte 10-year. In 2018, Whiskey Advocate rated this the #4 whiskey of the year. This is our heavily peated, so more of a traditional Islay whiskey. Comes out at about 40 parts per million. But as you'll see, this is approachably peated. The peat smoke that most people tend to think of when they think of peated whiskeys is a kind of brutal, right up at the front, overpowering peat smoke. With Port Charlotte, it's more of a late onset peat, so you really get to enjoy this bright, beautiful whiskey, and then the peat kind of takes away some of that heat.
Yeah, what I really like about this one is I almost feel like the nose and the palate are opposite. On the nose, you get the peat first right away, and then some of those sweeter notes kind of creep in on the back. On the palate, I get that burst of sweetness, some of that maltiness right away, and then the peat starts coming in and hangs around. I mean, you can tell it's a long finish. It sits on your tongue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the nose and the palate are kind of backwards from each other, so it's very interesting.
Yeah, and the finish just hangs around, and it's not that medicinal peat. You don't feel like you're chewing on a Band-Aid. It's more of like a campfire smoke.
Yeah.
More of, like you said, an approachable peat as opposed to that like in-your-face rubber band type stuff.
Right. It's got a good. You can tell with the non-chill filtering, keeping some of those oils and stuff. Good mouthfeel and coats your mouth. Yeah. Very nice. This would be a good one if someone wants to try a peat peated Scotch, but not jump too far into the deep end. I think this would be a good one to start because it's got some peat, but it's definitely got the balance there. Yeah.
Now, speaking about the deep end.
Yeah. This is the deep end for sure.
This is Octomore. This is our 10.1, so our 10 series and our 0.1 release. This is 107 parts per million, so versus our 40 parts per million on our Port Charlotte 10-year. Comes out at cask strength, which for this particular bottle is 59.8%. We aged this in ex-bourbon barrels for about 5 years. Going to be a little different mouthfeel just based on the fact that this is a super heavily peated whiskey, but it's still going to react the same as your Port Charlotte did, where it's a late onset peat.
It's always a real treat to be able to try Octomore. It's always a very different experience with every expression. This one is particularly excellent as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic. What I was, find about Octomore is I think some people get scared about that super high parts per million. And don't get me wrong, it's peaty, but there is a tremendous balance there. It's not peat just for the sake of peat. There's a really good sweetness, some good spice in there. Still get some of those fruity notes. Like I said, everything just balances really well, and it's not overwhelming at all. I think people, like I said, would be maybe like, oh, that's too much peat for me, and I tell them, hey, try it because you might be surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all of these just really balanced whiskeys, a lot going on, different layers to unpack, really just whiskeys you can kind of sit with for a while and really think about and just keep tasting new and different things every time.
And I love that, yeah, they focus on the different flavor profiles, different layers of peat. Sometimes some scotches they find their lane, they stay in their lane. I feel like Bruichladdich as a brand kind of has something for everybody. You know what I mean? No matter what your preference is as far as scotch goes. So.
Absolutely. And speaking of tasting these and unpacking them a little bit, all of these except for the Octomore will be available to taste here at the Argonaut this Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. So come on down, give them a shot. This guy right here, everyday low price $61.99, on sale for $54.99 right now. These two are both $63.99, on sale for $56.99. And then this guy, the Octomore, is going to be $189.99. We have this one, the 10.1. We also have the 10.3 in stock, and we were just told we're getting the 10.4 very soon, which is always exciting. So come on down Friday if you want to give these a shot. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.